again quotes, Punya Punya Benamela Hina Santa. Unless His mercy showered good karmas accumulate from the past and this present birth, it is difficult to be in environments like this. You don't come by guess. Always remember that. The Lord's mercy and our good karmas cause it. A most cordial and special welcome to dear brother Krishnadat. From quite sour, he is coming with us once more. No stranger to the mandir. Krishnadat Bhai, it's so nice to have you with us once more. When you look at Ramnaran Bhai coming from Mafikin, right? The other Stakron come from Brazil. You look how far they come to join with us. This is a tirat in itself in coming to this holy environment. And Bhagavad explained how important it is to be in satsang. You know why? Now, we can always make the excuse, You say, Pandit, I don't have to go. I could listen on the radio, I could watch it on the TV, all these things and so on. Well, we expect people who can't take up and come along to join with us here. So they will follow on the internet, right? But those who are wrong and could join, it's not my guess. Krishna Bhagavan says just being in this kind of environment is a magic. Seeing the people who love satsang is a blessing. Right? Why you are here? Because of the love for satsang. And seeing those involved in satsang, it is a blessing. When you come, you get the darshan of the murtis, all the issues in this holy environment. We are already in the temple, which is blessed, and more blessed that we had the privilege to join in Katha. So tonight, once more, taking this into consideration, we consider ourselves highly blessed as we join once more in taking a dip in this fathomless lake of nectar once more, the Shri Garuda Purana, a great discourse between Vishnu Bhagavan and Garuda himself. So let us all sit upright at this time. Keep your vision of that beautiful form of Lord Vishnu. Right? Visualize the Lord possessing that dark hue complexion, a beautiful crown upon his head. Bhagavan has beautiful earrings adorn the ears. The four arms, Sanka Chakra Gada Mala Vibhushitam. I like to visualize him, how Narad saw him in the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha. The Lord relaxing on the eternal serpent Shesha, of a fair complexion, Sanka Chakra Gada, but a beautiful one hand as he sunk, the other the chakra, the 30 Gada, the fourth a lotus flower, and a beautiful mala made of the wild sylvan flowers garlanded the Lord. Maha Lakshmi Mata is massaging the Lord's feet, and all the divinities surround Prabhu and they are praising him. Narad Muni joined that congregation and led them off in prayer. As we mentally bow upon those feet, O Prabhu, we beg of you once more, bless us with your divine grace, guidance, mercy, divine protection, divine inspiration. But Lord, we crave the greatest boon any human can be blessed with. You cannot get anything higher than that from all your spiritual endeavors. What is it? That unswerving, unfaltering, uninterrupted, unflinching, loyal devotion of bhakti to thee. As we keep our minds locked on those feet, we rever the various divinities, beginning with Sri Ganesh. Hari Om. Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. Sri Saraswati Namaha. Shri Guru Charana Kamalebhyo Namo Namaha. Om Yam Brahma Vedanta Vido Varante Param Pradhanam Purushanta Thanye Vishwargate Karanam Ishwaram Va Tasmai Namo Vigna Vinashanaya Vinadhare Vipula Mangaladana Shile Bhaktarati Nashini Viranachi Harisha Vande Kirti Prade Akhila Manorat De Mahare Vidya Pradayini Saraswati Naumi Nityam Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Guru Namaha Mukhaṁ karoti vācālam Pangulang hyati girim Yat kripatamaham vande परमानंद माधवम ओम नीलांबुज श्यामल कोमलांगम सीता समार्पित वाम भागम पौनो महाशायक चारु चापम नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम रामाय रामभद्राय रामचंद्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताय पतये नमः हे रमा पुरुषोत्तम नरहरि नारायण केशव गोविंद गरुड़ध्वज गुणनिधे दामोदर माधवा हे कृष्णा कमलापते यदुपते सीतापते श्रीपते वैकुंठाधिपते चराचरपते लक्ष्मीपते पाहि मम ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमः विज्ञान रूपाय परमानंद रूपिणे कृष्णाय गोपीनाथाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः कृष्णाय वसुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंद गोप कुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः यं ब्रह्मा वरुण इंद्र मरुता स्तुनवन्ति दिव्यैस्तवै वेदै सांग परक्रमोपनिषदै गारयन्ति यं सामगा ध्यानावस्थिता तर्गते न मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यन्तं नाविरुसुरा सुरगणदेवाय तस्मै नमः ओम नागेन्द्रहराय त्रिलोचनाय भस्मांगरगाय महेश्वराय नित्याय शुद्ध्याय दिगंबराय तस्मै नकराय नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम जयंती मंगला काली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवा धात्री स्वः स्वधा नमोस्तुते नमस्तुते व्यास विशाल बुद्धि पुरारविंद्र यत पत्र नेत्र येन त्वया भारत तल्य पुरन प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानम प्रदीपः श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधार वरनो रघुवर विमल यश ओ जोदायक फल ओ बुद्धहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो मम संकट हरो हरि बोलो श्री विष्णु भगवान की जय Praise again to Devi Saraswati as we crave her boons. Bless us so much as we praise you. Let us always have that sharp and broad intellect, good memory, eloquence in our speech, melody in our voice, creativity in our hands, mastery of our musical instruments, all in the field of fine arts and talents. O Devi Daya Karo, Raksha Karo, Kshama Karo, we beg of you. Jaya 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 Shri Saraswati Mata. Jaya Jaya Jaya
Shri Saraswati Mata.
Oh Jaya 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 Shri Rama Radhika Mata.
Jai 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 Shri Saraswati Mata.
Oh
Jai 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 Shri Saraswati Mata.
Prathama Vinavamai Sri Ganesha Ko Duje Saraswati Ma Dije Mai Vinavati Ne Deva Ko Jo Yak Sri Jalai Dije Mai Vinavati Ne Deva Ko Jo Yak Sri Jalai. Jai Jai Jai
Shri Saraswati Mata.
Oh Jai 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 Sri Rama Radhika Mata. Jai Jai Jai
Shri Saraswati Mata.
Oh Jai
Jai Jai Shri Saraswati Mata.
चौथे मय नवा पंच सभी को ध्यान तुझे उलझा श्री गरुड़ पुराण अनुपम करने भवसागर पार करा श्री गरुड़ पुराण अनुपम करने भवसागर
पार कराए।
ओ
जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता।
ओ जय 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 श्री रमा राधिका
जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता। जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता।
ओ जय 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 श्री
सरस्वती माता।
और शक्ति सरस्वती देवी माता की जय. Devotees, we are now in the month of May. The month of May is called Indian Heritage Month. Why? On the 30th of this month, we'll be celebrating 180 years since our forefathers came to this part of the world. And it's good to sit down, I always tell you that, speak with the older folks in the village, in the family and so on, and find out about life long ago. Find out about the history, what caused them to come down here. Life was hard in India. Most of us came from UP, which is the northern part of the northern state. In the state of Bihar is a poor state, very, very poor. African slavery was abolished, right, in 1834, okay? Then you had the demand for sugar was so high in Europe, they wanted sugar. When the Africans were freed, they left the plantations and gravitated to the urban areas to get lighter work around Poroswin and things and so on. And that's how they developed. With the demand for sugar, devotees, the British were ruling India already. They know Indians could work hard. They know Indians are docile, humble people. You could talk to them. You could get them to do what you want. They're humble and all these things and so on. It was already poured over there. And they came up with this to bring them down here. Now you imagine, an Indian, they know nothing in English, right? And you telling here, Kenya to Trinidad to plant sugarcane for 5 years, you could come back. They tell them they carry them to Trinidad. Chini means sugar, the land of sugar. Like sweet down here like sugar. People have promised you across, it's greener grass, There we go, boy. It ain't easy so, right? And so most of them opted to come in with the idea for 5 years, and after they could go back. Put your thumbprint, right? They put their thumbprint, you sign a contract. Leaving the various ports, devotees coming across, they travel through that period. That water is called the Kala Pani. Kala means what? Black, the black water. Imagine you're in a ship which do have an engine. And it taking you how much? I think something like, it's about 3 months I think that journey took to come here. Right? 3 months it took to come. You depend on the wind jammers you call them. Many died on that trip. Many died. There was no privacy. And Indian people are very careful about your personal issues and so on. Hardly any privacy and so on. Two faiths came, Hindus and Islam. And they became Jahaji Bhai on that boat. When they bring them down here, they quarantine them like animals on Nelson Island. The coolies on them, you call them. Free from disease and things. Bring them to Port of Spain, allocate them to estates and so on. And that is what happened with our forefathers. My grandfather picked up his 4 sisters and he come down. Yeah, they say he went to buy sugar and he never go back. I don't know, all kind of thing went on. Some in 1873 he came. I am 3rd generation from my forefathers on my father's side. Okay? And we had devotees, again, those who came, they could identify with their lineage and so on. Okay? My grandfather was a Garuda Purana Maraj. My father's first cousin was Ram Raj Pandit from Arima, Pandit Basiv Sharma from Curep. Okay? The you call him Betadilan from Sawa. Arangwes, the old man there, Ramchandar Baba, he was my guru. Right, so what I'm showing you, you could have checked the lineage coming down. It's not we get mixed up, All right? And when they came here, allocated to the various estates, what they could do, it was not as what was promised. You had overseers waking you up 2 o'clock in the morning, nobody have a clock. My brother used to be, who died now, John, they used to be singing that song. When the overseer come in and wake you up, you know what time it is you get up. You're there with flambeau, you're going because you can't cut cane when the sun hot. You're out there, right? You know the song, eh? Little Mati. And you had the copy of it? Our Sardar, you had that copy. Yeah. Right? This is about to sing that song. And so devotees, they toiled and they worked and it wasn't easy. They stayed in the same barracks the African slaves stayed in. Wasn't that you want to make for them, So could you imagine? It's board barracks and it has space between the board. It had no privacy for females, all these things and so on. You're done down here, you have to make it do. They came to other places, Guyana, you have Grenada, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Fiji, all these places they came. We're speaking about in Trinidad. When the 5 years were up, you could leave the estate, you had to have a pass to leave the estate, all kind of thing. They lock you up and all that thing and so on. Just think about it. It wasn't far from slavery. The overseers used to beat them. Them long horse whip, they have this to beat them with that. And when the 5 years were up, Some went back, and those who opted to stay, they promised them land, and they gave them all this swampland that was unworkable. But remember this, if you give an Indian nothing, you can make something out of it. Watch and see what will happen to this country from now on. You will see what will happen with this country right now. Yeah. We are like that. That is part. It tells you the blood that flows in us is from the rishis and the munis, from the great divine devotees. Right? You are determined to make, and after 100, and you know what they do? They take the same swampland, planted short crops in the dry season, and rice in the rainy season. And they start a bill. I will put aside my little penny and 6 cents and shilling, in those days was English currency. My son will not have to work hard like me. I will buy land so he will have land to build a house. This is how we to sacrifice for children. Their sacrifice was more. As you say, they band their belly. Yes, so it's for to see the children better off. And remember this, you see what we enjoying today is the sacrifice of the forefathers. Although they gone devotees, that's why the whole Hindu calendar, to me the most important period is Pitra Paksh, when you remember the ancestors. Right? You have to pay gratitude to them. You have to thank them what we enjoy now. And you devotees again, to the free education that was long ago again, they couldn't, no girl children they go to school, you know. Your duty is to wash clothes, cook, iron, and so on. And when the time comes, look for a good husband to settle down. That was the normal issue of the Hindu home. Right? When the Hindu school started, can I Bible tell you, we had a Hindu college in San Grande. That's what they started to sell the girl children, because a Hindu college. Plenty females got educated, boys too, and so on. Education is the key to take you out from suffering and frustration. And we again keep pounding the same thing. Today you have so much opportunities to educate yourself. A lot of young children not taking advantage of it. Right? Not everybody will be academically okay. It has skills, it has talents, it has so many areas you could get involved in that you could make an income out of it, an honest income to elevate your life. You just sit down and wait for handout. And youths, take advantage. Now is the time to do it. Learn as much as you could learn. Not only academics, any skill, any talent, whatever be it. There are plenty of opportunities to learn. And so devotees, we are able today, look at today after 180 years, so many doctors and engineers and you name it, professionals come out from the Indian community, right? But what does keep our people alive again? Your dharma and your kultura, right? They stood devotees firm. When in times devotees offer, they were downtrodden and so on. They will take out their Ramayana and read a future Upais and Doha. The first opportunity they get, Hanumanji, they hold on to him. And he gave them that endurance, that fortitude to move along in life. They needed the things that they will survive, just as migrants from here going to other parts of the world. When you go over there in America, Canada, England, all over, you have meal and chowki there too, you know. How you going to make your roti? Yeah, cultural and jarna and everything and so on. Right? So this is how our food, their clothing, their musical instruments, their language, the language has been died out because they didn't want to recognize it. You had more than 45% were East Indians in Trinidad, but it was not taught in any school. If you people know Hindi from the community and from your father and grandfather and so on and this way in the little Kutian thing. But they say it was taught, a place like Texas, they teach in Hindi in the school. Just tell me that. And that's why we have lost the spoken language, but we read Hindi and all these things and so on. If you go to Suriname, a 5-year-old will tie up with Hindi. Think about it. But that doesn't mean that you cannot follow your dharma, right? You have so many very strong and beautiful Hindus here in our land that they call Trinidad Little India. They say if you want to learn about Hinduism, come to Trinidad. Because we tend to maintain the tradition even more than across there. When they came and they saw Ramlila in Sangre Grande, they said, we don't have any more in India. Maidan Ramlila, you know, original, how it's supposed to be. This is how it's done here. Yes, how we organize and carry on the culture and all these things and so on. So, to keep your people alive, your traditions are very important. You come from the great rishis and the munis. Maintain that pure blood. Live for the sake of your dharma. Your dharma will protect you. Kapoye kamare ye mitro, sanatan dharam ki jai ho.
कहो एक बार ये मित्रों, सनातन धर्म की जय हो।
करो प्रचारो दुनिया में, सनातन धर्म की जय हो।
करो प्रचार दुनिया में, सनातन धर्म की जय हो।
ऋषि संतान होने को जो दावा मन में रखते हो।
ऋषि संतान होने को जो दावा मन में रखते हो।
ना छोड़ो कर्म अपने को,
सनातन धर्म की जय हो।
सनातन
धर्म की जय हो। सनातन धर्म की जय हो।
बोलो सत्य सनातन धर्म की। Find out in your communities where they had these barracks before. A lot of them came to work on the cocoa plantations, right, in the latter part, because the best cocoa in the whole world came from Trinidad. And they gravitated towards the cocoa estates. This northeastern region, very, very productive for cocoa, coffee, and so on. And in some areas, you had barracks. Plenty of them are broken down. In Nonpareil Estate, you had a barrack there. In Forward Stamina, there was a barrack there. I think that break down right now. In Los Amos de los Road, there was one there. In Conaripo and Gordon Grant Estate, there was one there. I don't even coal mine did they had any barracks there to kind of identify with. These were the state devotees in these places, right? The history is so rich. When you understand the way of life they brought. Now, Sanatan Dharam is or Hinduism is broad. We follow the pathway that is called Sanatan Dharam. That's the pathway we follow. But Kabir Pans came. Sri Narayani's came. Right? Who again come? Right? Well, Islam came in the Muslim community. Okay? Afterwards, you have others. Hare Rama Krishna came afterwards. Sai Baba came afterwards. Today, you have Radha Radha, Krishna Krishna thing. And next, so you had different movements taking place. But the original of it is Sanatan Dharma, that pathway of which we follow. We follow, again, the teachings of Guru Ramanand. That's why you'll hear Guru Ramananda ki jai. Okay? So that's why you have different sect of Hinduism. But we follow this pathway, the original aspect of Sanatan Dharma. So this month of May is Indian Heritage Month. Talk to your children. Now the museum was under repairs, right, in Kapichaima. I don't think it is finished yet. But whenever it's finished, they will tell you. And that is a place you must go and visit. You will shock to see the amount of artifacts and so on down there. Right, they have. It's one time we went with the Tirat. Very, very nice place. They are repairing it, renovation and so on. Whenever it is completed, you will get to know, and you pay a visit down there sometime. Okay? So devotees will be talking about Indian arrival this month of May. This is the month called Indian Heritage Month. And I urge you to tune into the radio stations and the TV stations. You'll be getting a lot more information and thing about it. You yourself do research and find out. Talk to the elderly people, if there are any in your community, in the village or in the family and so on, and find out about long time. Long time, when we great-grandmothers had them come here, the type of jewelry them had on, you don't see that again, it had one used to come across here. Every the mohar on them and so on. When tell you intricate, real intricate, They say some thick silver bracelet around the hand, around the neck, around the ankle. When they take out all that and put it in a bag, it have it to and they will wear that, devotees. All that has gone and so on. Others have stolen them and all these things. People have melted them and so on. Probably few people have these around. So look at the artifacts, what they brought. Next week probably I'll tell you some of how they contributed to the vegetation. How many plants they brought to Trinidad that we have right now. Okay? Let us join in one little bhajan, begging the Lord that, O Prabhu, we beg of you to bless us. We are not perfect. We make mistakes. We are beggars. We have no knowledge whatsoever. Your Father, we are your children. You are the Master, we are your servants. You are the Lord, we are the worshippers. We have no bhakti, no shakti, anything, Lord. We humble unto you. As a child comes begging to the mother, the father, so we beg to you. Sharan mein aaye, hai hum tumhare, daya karo ye dayalu Bhagavan. Sharan mein aaye,
hai hum tumhare, daya karo ye dayalu Bhagavan.
Samhalo bigri dasha hamare, daya karo ye dayalu Bhagavan. Samhalo bigri
dasha hamare, daya karo ye dayalu Bhagavan.
ना हमें बल है, ना हमें शक्ति, ना हमें साधन, ना हमें भक्ति.
ना हमें बल है, ना हमें शक्ति,
और ना हमें बल है, ना हमें शक्ति, ना हमें साधन, ना हमें भक्ति. तुम्हारे दर्श को हम हैं भिखारी, दया करो हे दयालु भगवान. शरण में आए
है हम तुम्हारी, दया करो हे दयालु भगवान.
जो तुम है स्वामी तो हम है सेवक, जो तो पिता हो तो हम है पालक. जो तुम है स्वामी
तो हमें सेवक,
और जो तुम है स्वामी तो है सेवक. जो तो पिता हो तो हम है पालक. जो तुम है ठाकुर तो हम पुजेरी, दया करो हे दयालु भगवान. शरण में आए
है हम तुम्हारी, दया करो हे दयालु भगवान.
ओ संभालो बिगड़ी
दशा हमारी,
दया करो
हे दयालु भगवान.
ओ दया करो हे
दयालु भगवान.
ओ दया करो हे दयालु
भगवान.
प्रेम से बोलिए विष्णु भगवान की जय. उमापति महादेव की जय. वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय. सर्वदेवी सर्वदेवता की जय. साधु गुरु के दंडवत. जय 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 सीताराम. So devotees, Bhagavan Vishnu continues with this discourse with Garuda. Garuda is the eagle upon whom you see travels on. Garuda is so close to Bhagavan. Garuda took advantage of the moments and spare time devotees to always engage in satsang, so that if this discourse did not take place, we will not get this knowledge. And the whole issue when you study the whole Garuda Purana is about the greatness of our human existence, you know. Right? How blessed and how great that we as a human, and the privilege we have with it. Right? Moksha ka dwar hai. Once you're blessed with this human body, you stand right on the gateway to get oneness with God. But again, it's dependent on the issue of karma. The human body is like a karmic ladder. Due to actions committed by it, it can lift you right up to oneness, or it can sink you right down into metapsychosis, the lowest of bodies in God's creation. Again, Garuda Purana is not meant to offend anyone. It is the truth. We want to find out, and if I don't read it, we will not get the information. It might fall in, as I say, in my garden, in your garden, in whose garden, but it is that if we don't read it, we will not know, and we cannot make changes in that respect. So Bhagavan Vishnu says, Garuda, when this body, the soul being blessed with this body, and with the lack of knowledge without the third eye being open, and in not being able to see the real from the unreal, and believing that this world is true and real, this material world, Maya, we devote this whole mind, body into this web of materialism. And by doing so, we commit karmas that are detrimental to us. And karmas do not go unnoticed. The logical law is every cause, every action has a reaction to it. Right? Good will bring good, bad can't bring good. Bad will bring bad. What we got to know according to Srimad Bhagavad Purana, we have a special blessing in Kali Yuga. And the blessing is, we have the opportunity to burn bad karmas in Kali Yuga and build some good ones. Right? And the earlier you start on that pathway, the better for you and me. So he explained, you see, when we do certain wrongs, and you face Lord Yamraj, and up there devotees, same Bhagwan sits on the judge's chair, you know. Chaitra and Gop get your account, and when they start to read out all what you do down here, they have it listed. Right? You have to answer for it. You hurt, you caused this, that, whatsoever, and so on. And here Bhagwan Vishnu said, he showed us, when you do X wrong, what body you have to burn back in to pay for it? Remember, there are Chaurasi lakh yoni, 8,400,000 species of lives, which falls in 4 categories called Andaj, Ukmaj, Pindaj, and Astravar. Lives that are born from wombs, mammals. Think about how many. We are the highest, second is the cow. But how many others are born from wombs? Lives that are born from eggs. Think about the amount of species born from eggs. Lives that devotees you cannot see with the naked eyes, that are microscopic and so on, sweat-born and otherwise. And the plant kingdom is alive. A tree is alive, a plant is alive. Right? Even the yogis will not eat plants because you figure you have to take a life to eat it. Okay? So devotees, you know, nobody, no creature of God is born by guess or coincidence. Everything is based on the logical law of karma. So with those actions committed, you go down into the hellish region and suffer. And when you get to born back here, but you're born back to suffer again. Right? How you born back to suffer? It tells you again you're born back in a low outcast family and so on. You're born back devotees where in that family you don't have any wealth, so you have suffering from poverty. You're born sickly. Sometimes you don't get to born, you die in the mother's womb. You call it a miscarriage. That's not my guess. One baby born, healthy and happy. The next one, they had to keep him in intensive care for a whole 6 months. Not my guess. One baby born with all the faculties in perfect working condition. the next one born with certain abnormalities and defects and whatever, not by guess or coincidence. And this is in every category of God's creation of the 8,400,000 species. So you see, that's why when the knowledge comes, they tell you that when you do X wrong, you just have to born back. It's karma just keep you coming back, you know. You see, what Shri Ram says in Ramayana, we have all the equipment across this ocean of births and death, you know, and to get oneness with God. What is it? We need a boat. The boat is the body. All right? The passenger is you and me, which is the soul. You need engine power. When you devote yourself to the Lord, that comes the engine power to take you across. But you need a captain on the boat to guide you directly to Atma and to Paramatma. Who is the captain? The Guru. If you listen to the Guru, he will guide you along. But if you want to be your own Guru, why Guru? And Sri Ram says, yet we have all equipment and you can't cross, you keep coming back again and again. Why? Because when tomorrow morning comes, what we do? We put aside a nice glass of fresh milk to make you healthy, and we take up a glass of we decide which is to kill you. What is the glass of milk? Doing the good with this body and serving the Lord. What is the glass of we decide? Devoting the mind, body again once more in the web of materialism. Committing karmas there that you become responsible for. Right? One thing we are sure, once you're born, you have to die. And it don't tell you when, that you have to, you don't frighten, you go live 80 or 90 years. Nobody know what's going to happen tomorrow. It could be next minute, you know. That's why you got to take, the greatest treasure man have is how much time remaining in your life, you know. And we just measure the time. We say, look, well, we old, we are how much? These children young, them have plenty life to live. Don't believe that in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is the age where the unexpected will be expected and the impossible will be possible. That is this age of Kali Yuga. So take advantage of it, and hence the importance again of this holy environment of satsang where knowledge is gained. So let us see, devotees, what Bhagavan Vishnu says. Hari Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Saraswatyai Namaha Guru Charan Kamalibhyo Namo Namam Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namam. यहाँ को स्वर्गात्रो को घाती चा हरिओम सी गोत्र को स्त्रीने को पेशवनाथ हरिओम सी तरक्षु को शल्को को हरिओम श्री भूतवा को ऋक्षियो निशु को जायता हरिओम तापो संग को महात्मा कामी हरिओम श्री भवेंत मरुत पिशाच चका हरिओम उपराय को यौवन को संग को दा को देवे को जगरो को बने गुरु को दारा को भीलशी को चा हरिओम श्री कृकलासो को भवेच नरा रागी को गतवा को भवेद को दुष्टो मित्र को पत्नी च को हरिओम गदर्भ गुरु को डोको को बिगव राहा को हरिओम स्यात को दृश्य को लीपति महाकामी को भवेदस्तु स्थान को दक्ष को काम को कलमपता श्री विष्णु भगवान की जय वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. भगवान विष्णु continues and what he says here, हरि ओम. यहाँ को गोत्री को घात करे को या अपने को सगोत्र स्त्रिका को सेवन करके तो रीच को तथा को शील का को जन्म को पाकर फिर को ब्रिज को योनियों के उत्पन्न की होता है. श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. विष्णु भगवान की जय. कल्याण कीजिए. It says devotees that the person again devotees right. That person again, it tells you here, who threatens or spits on his teacher or his guru, spiritual, academic, or otherwise. The guru, you see, let me tell you something. A real teacher, right, can't be a rich person, you know, because your reward is not money. Your reward is educating somebody, making a good citizen of that person, right, of the land, of the world at large. And the teacher does try his best to see that you really go forward, uplift, and so on. Okay? And that's why sometimes you feel the teacher ain't like you, this or that, or so on. It's not that. The teacher trying the best to you. But sometimes you want to, and this is where the trouble has come. And you decide, devotees, to hit that teacher, which is happening today, right? Insult the teacher, be the teacher, all empty and so on, much less to spit on the teacher, you know, or browbeat means to make him look small in front of an audience or something like that, all right? And anybody who does that, devotees, or to a Brahmana, you will be born as a Brahmin spirit, devotees, in a desert. You're born back as a spirit, a Brahmin spirit called a Pisach or Pisachini. Pisach is male, Pisachini is female. Okay? Hari Om Narayana Bhakti Kevalam Charan Kamalebhyo Namo Namaha Vishnu Adi Devebhyo Namaha Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanayaka Pratam ko Brahmano ko vachan ki antame ko dan nahi ko deta hai ve ko siyar ko ki hota hai. The person, devotees, who does not give to a Brahmin what is promised. You see, when you make a promise, you have to be real careful, you know. Raghukula riti sadachaliyai prana jai varuvachana jai. You give your word, and you go against that word. You promised to give, and you did not give, you're going to born back as a jackal. A jackal is a four-footed creature. It's called a sly creature. All right, like a fox, something like that then. We do have it in Trinidad. You see, from a human, look where you drop down back. When Dasrat devotees, Vishwavin come, Dasrat say, Guru, I'm so pleased to have you here. What you want? Ask for anything you want. He say, you sure, boy? He say, King Dasrat you're talking to? He say, I want Rama Lakshmana to go in the forest. Dasrat say, well, Guru, I can't send Rama Lakshmana with you. Ask for any other thing. He said, no. Right? I want Rama Lakshman. Then Guru advised him, Guru Vashish, you have to honor your word. When Kekai asked for the two bones, you know what she told Dasrat? You could take back the bone, you know, the world will laugh at you that the great King Dasrat has gone back on his word. Today you always have to have a plan B standby. Because a fella tell you, yes, I'm coming sure to help you to do or whatsoever. And when the time comes, here, but I'm with you. So you have to have a plan B standby all the time. All the time. They said that is a serious sin when you give your word and you go against it. That's why before making that promise, think carefully, bichar kare. Right? Such a person is born as a jackal. The person who is not hospitable, right, to good. I mentioned that last Thursday. A home, a house is not considered a home until it could welcome visitors to it. Right? We know that today you have to be real careful who come in home and so on. Right? But you know, some people don't like people to come home by them, eh? Right? And some home again are open. You just welcome. Right? That home that is welcome to receive visitors, that house is called a home. But who don't like to encourage visitors to come, devotees, they become, you're born back as what? They tell you a howling fire face, which is called, is a class of spirit. You're born back in a spirit form. That class of spirit devotees in this manner. Hari Om, mitra ka ko drohi ko parvata ko grit ko hota hai. The person who deceives a friend. You know, your friend has been close, your friend, you're telling, your innermost secret you're going to tell your friend. Because you're going to guarantee him. Right? And what has happened? Now, when you hear all, them two friends get vexed, is your worst enemy now, eh? Because he know all your business, you know. He know all your business and all your secret and everything and so on because you're trusting him all the time, or you're trusting her all the time. But no matter what, somebody confide in you, you're supposed to hold that in confidence. Right? You betray that friend's trust, devotees, you'll burn a big kobo in the forest area. Right? That cobras fly high, 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 and you know, anyway, no, don't become sent fast, you know. So these creatures are not born by guess. Is that karma will send you down from this highest to the lowest. That's what the human is karmic ladder. Hariom Narayan. इसी प्रकार को हरिओम श्री क्रिय को विक्रय में को कपटी को उल्लू की होता है. The person who sells devotees and cheats in selling on a scale, right? You're robbing people on a scale. If every time you sell and you rob a man an ounce, you know what profit you're making for the day? Eh? Any fellow who's selling alcohol, alcohol, right? And the alcohol white and funny. Well, fellas say you had to get a bit pure at first, eh? And when the head started to get a little tipsy and thing, then they just can't tell you. Start to mix the water in. Right? You have to answer for that because you're collecting money by a false pretense. You don't get away. See, the Vishnu Bhagwan is saying, robbing people, devotees, when you are selling in whatever manner in this way. All right? You are going to devotees, born back as what? As a Narayan Bhakti Kevalam, as a tiger in a desolate forest. You're born back as a tiger in a desolate forest. ब्राह्मण को गायत्री नहीं को जप करते को संध्या में को संध्या को पासन को नहीं होता. हरिओम जो भीतर के दुष्ट को बाहर से को साधु को मलु को होता को ब्राह्मण को जन्म का को बगुला को होता की होता है. श्री विष्णु भगवान की जय. The Brahmana who due to karma has risen up the karmic ladder and who has come here for a purpose. As I told you, the Brahmana really, a Brahman life is supposed to be one of materialism. Materialism is supposed to attract he. Right? He's supposed to educate himself and teach the people. All right? Do and show them how to do. That's how tradition will go along. Receive gifts when they are given and give back too. Right? You're supposed to do sandhya, offer devotion, all these things and so on. So the Brahmana who refuses to utter that Gayatri month devotees, right? What happened? He again is it says here, immorally wicked devotees and while outwardly pious, you're born back as a crane. The crane is a big bird that's been everybody revered, chanting with a long, long, thin leg. You're born back in that. That bird is not born by guess. A fella who don't like satsang, you're born back as an owl. Because the owl loves the darkness of the night. They don't like daylight. The darkness of the night represents ignorance. The daylight represents the light of knowledge. A person, devotees who only could find fault, he can't help. The people trying to do a little project to uplift or to, to better something then. And you always killing their spirit, although you can't help do nothing, eh? You could help, but you don't want to help. But you're always condemning them and preventing them and this and that. You know what I tell you? You have to born back as a bat. You have to sleep upside down in the night. Wrong side. And you're going to love the night. A bat is not born by guess. Ramayana come back and tell you. You see when you're bat talking the scriptures and the guru and so on, you go born back as a frog for 1,000 births, You take the body of the frog, birth. You live in it life, you live it death. You're born back again, birth, life, death. You're born back again, and you're going so 1,000 times. And not any kind of frog, eh? The one that go pung narak when it start to fall. Ramayana mentioned that. Kakbusuji Katha tells you. So look at where you was a human, look at where you dropped down. That's why the body is the karmic ladder. Now, it's always hard to climb up, eh? It's more effort to climb. But you see to go wrong back, eh? But enough for now you reach down there. It's very hard to reach up, but to come down it's so easy. So the wise now realizing how much effort it takes to reach up here in this human body, you take every precaution to see that you don't slide down back the ladder. And these are the karmas devotees will cause us to go wrong back. And why? You see, we don't know about this, how important it is. And that's why satsang, you have to be in satsang where knowledge is being dispersed. If you read this Garuda Purana, I show you, right, you never heard this before. That all these wrongs could put us in them kind of situation. You don't know it. That's why I tell you it's meant for information. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. इसी प्रकार को भगवान विष्णु बोले कि के गरुड़ और बहुत के को मनुष्यों के को जन्म कराते वाले गधा योनि को होता है. It tells you that the Brahmana who performs rituals for the person that is unfit to do it, right? That person is unfit to do it. You're born back as a village hog. I mentioned that the last time. And if you go to India, in every village you have them, and what their job is to do, they are sanitation workers there. We got to go and see it. You have to prepare for yoga. You have to prepare for this, the sacrifice, and if a place is unfit for it, and this and that, and so on. You're going to do it. Yeah, man, let me go ahead. You only study the Dachina where you get it. No, you go born back and you have to suffer for that because you guided the people too. Okay? And by eating devotees without giving grace, you're born back as a crow. Krishna Bhagavan says in Gita, anytime you eat and you don't offer it to me, you're a thief. Now you see what kind of food you go offer again. It had to be vegetarian food. That's why we are supposed to be vegetarians. If you study the structure of this mouth, it really was not made, all right, for biting hard bone and this and that and all them things and so on. The tiger and the lion and other creatures were born for that purpose. And food is kataraga, is the highest kandamulapal, things that grow below the ground, above the ground, and on trees, devotees. Very, very important. Narayana Paramatamaye Govindaye Namo Namam. इसी प्रकार को भगवान विष्णु बोले कि ये गरुड़ जी हरियम सपुत्र को विदा को दान को नहीं ही को देता, ब्राह्मण को लय की होता, गुरु जी को सेवा शिक्षा नहीं को करने वाले जो उस पशु की होता है. The Brahmana who does not impart devotees knowledge to the desires, to those deserving of it, you're born back as a bull. Anytime you are blessed with knowledge, skills, talent, all these things and so on, and you don't share it, you're born back, you're falling on back. The Brahmana born back as a bull if he did not educate himself and share that knowledge. Right? Whatever skill, whatever talent devotees we have, you pass it on, or else you go there and carry it with you. It's something, I don't know it with Barami, and I'm saying it publicly. Right? We have a real rich tradition. Real rich. And people who are skilled in these things, you need to teach others. Not everybody makes curry. And I always wonder as a young boy, why did us call this thing boulders for? The polari does be raw inside, you can't eat it. Curry, when you take a polari and put it on your tongue, it's supposed to melt. Those who know, teach others, please. Remember we eat all about it? So I could tell you, curry, or for fathers bring curry from Bihar state. That is a tradition came. But people can't make it good. And next thing to need teaching. But you could go on YouTube and get it. It have a lot of people don't know how to make rot. They make fry bake. I am telling you, we come across these things. Don't keep the secret and the ingredients and the recipe for yourself. Share it. You will die and go, and nobody will benefit from it. Especially about traditional dishes and so on, so that our culture will go on, devotees. There's something I feel you really need them something there, because you just find some problem with that. Hari Om Narayan Bhakti Kevalam. इसी प्रकार को गुरु हुकार के को तुकार को करने को बार को हरि ओम विदा धरकर को ब्राह्मण को जीतने से के वहाँ को जल हित को वन में को Brahma Rakshas hota hai. The person who threatens or spits devotees again on a holy Brahmana, you will born as a Brahman fiend, which is a spirit in a desert or wilderness place. Right? Pratham ko Hariam, Pratham ko Brahman ko vachan de ko antame ko dan nahi ki hota hai. He again who promises and does not give. Right? You're born back as that jackal, as I tell you. Okay? The person again, devotees, नारायण भक्ति केवलम माता पिता को गुरु के को बहनों के द्वेष को करने वाला है. The child or that son who hates his parents and teachers and elders and always like to cause quarrel and so on in family and so on, devotees, you will born back, it tells you here, you again will born as a human, but will be destroyed in the embryo stage in the mother's womb. You will not get to come as a human being. That do happen by guess or coincidence, right? The lady who disrespects, ill-treats her husband, scold the husband, you know, make him look small before others and so on, you go born back a louse, right? You know, it's something you don't see much again, eh? Louse. So problem, ladies treating the husband good, right? All right? Your husband's supposed to be a pati, one who you're supposed to treat nice and all them things, and you'll treat in you go born a louse. A louse is not born by guess. The leech is not born by guess. All is they tell you. All right? The lady who abuses her in-laws, right? You're born back as a leech. You don't like your but I know nobody want to live by. Today, for the time our son married, you have to find a place where he's separate if you and your daughter-in-law want to live good, because they are staying. Because the daughter-in-law put the mother-in-law in a pepper sauce bottle. So they want to live. They don't want to take advice. Even Sarwan Kumar's wife, that happened. You're born back as a leech to suck blood from others, forgetting that what goes wrong is going to come wrong. Right? Cutting off your lineage, devotees, and going to a lower one again, you're born a hyena or a porcupine. Narayan. Hariam tapas ko istri ko kaban ko karni wale ko, makhan ko desh me ko bhuta hota ki hota hai. The lustful man, devotees, who goes again with a female ascetic, it tells you here, and he will born devotees, he becomes a huge snake, devotees, in the next life, especially with an immature girl, a person who is not physically, you know, full and well and so on then. Somebody deprived of this physical fitness, and you take advantage of that person, you're going to born back as a big snake in a dark forested area. And snake are born by guess. No criteria, devotees. गुरु को पत्नी को गमन को करने वाले गिरीत को होता है, राजा की स्त्री को सेवन को करने वाले उतके की होता है. The person again, devotees, who again goes against his teacher, and devotees, friends with his godmother in this manner, you're born back as the house lizard. Them his head will run all about in the house, you're born back one of them. Who again, devotees, does the same thing with the king. You become corrupt devotees and you're born back as a donkey in the next life. Got a high born by guess. Right? You have this respect, we got to earn them. Guru ko kama seva ko suar ke aur ko shudra sevi ko bal tatha ko mahakami ko prai ki agle ko janam ko avash ki hota hai. He who commits again, what you call unnatural vices and so on. When I say low type of activities in your life, then you engage in those kind of things, you're born back as the village pig. As I tell in India how they run around and what they do. Right? They are the sanitation workers there. That individual again, who is very lustful in nature, borns back as a horse. Mrita ke ko ekadashmi ko bhojan karne wale kutte ki hota hai. The person who feeds upon the Ekadasi day, right? You're born back as a dog. You see it? You see that brought how it's important there? Again, you're still begging because you still try to eat greens and whatnot and so on. But Ekadasi, that's supposed to have fast without water and food and all them things, you know. Durbasa and them fellas used to do that. But you had to practice that or else you're going to survive. They tell you born back as a dog in the next life. Narayan Bhakti Kevalam isi prakar. Hari Om Shri Bhagavan Vatsalam. धन के लिए को देवता की पूजा को करने वाले ब्राह्मणा को धन को देव देव लक को है वहाँ देव को और को पितृ कार्यों के न को अजो की होता है. It says devotees that the wretched devotees amongst the brahmanas who just worship the deities only for the sake of wealth, he's called a devlak, and is unfit to offer obligations even on behalf of his ancestors. You see, it's not prayers, is not money focused. It must not be for that. You cannot put a price for God prayers. All the scriptures tell you there is a sacrificial fee for the priest. It never tell you how much. Anytime you put a price, X amount devotees, you're born back as a devlak here. I don't know what is that. Right? You're selling the dharma, you're selling the scriptures. You want a year, I go charge you X amount to do it for you. That you're going down, you're born back lower. This is your duty, this is your dharma. You're supposed to project it and upkeep it. Money must not be the objective in it. It's a serious sin when these things happen. Right? If fella say, well, he said, Baba, how much you go take for the puja? He said, how much you put up? He said, 5. Well, 5 by X amount will cost you so much. No, it do have a price. No aspect of God's worship have a price. Although the scripture tell you there's a sacrificial fee for the priest. Right? Whatever you think is you wish and you're comfortable with, and you receive it must be comfortable with that too. Right? Garuda Purana tells us a serious sin that is committed here by the Brahmana when a price is put devotees. Now I tell you, go fall in your garden and my garden. But it's knowledge, we need to know it. If you don't read it, you can't know it. Hari Om, ऐसा घोर को पापों से उत्पन्न को हुआ, भयानक को नरकों की. Hari Om. It says again, those who are very sinful and having passed through the dreadful hell produced by these great sins committed by the body, and after you have left, what happened? प्राप्त होको कर्म को क्षय को होने के मनुष्य को लोकर को उत्पन्न की होता है. You are born back here upon the earth or the exhaustion of your karmas, having paid out for it. So you see, that's what I tell you. Sometimes you go to the funeral and the man talking and he say, well, this person now free. He's free from all the troubles and worries of this world. He's in paradise. He's in the arms of the Lord, you know, enjoying heavenly bliss and so on. That to happen so. It's a process you have to go through. You have to go through Lord Yamraj. You have to, everything is based on the law of karma, the law of cause and effect. Nobody gets away. Nobody. Be it Raja or Rank. Who is the Raja, the king? Who is the Rank? The pauper. Be it the priest or the vagrant, it doesn't matter. All we have to answer up there one day. Nobody gets away. The most educated or the most illiterate, you have to answer to Lord Yamraj. And due to the actions committed, when they check your karmic account up there, you're born back in certain lower bodies in the Chaurasi Lakh Yoni to beat out those karmas now. And after beating them out and suffering in hellish regions and so on, then you get to come back here. You have to start right down now and start to come back again. That's why all these teachers of Dharma tell you, get out from this entanglement of materialism. Get out from it. At the end of every volume in the Ramayana, Tulsidas begs, why not humble yourself to a merciful Lord like Shri Ram and develop that pure bhakti to him? He will allow you to cross this ocean of births and death, not to return. Here is what you call devotees. Maya is a mirage, right? And you just only see it when your third eye open. It does make you believe it real and true. Now, really and truly, what does really tie you up plenty is this family life down here. Because you have to live in materialism. And that's why the guidelines are there now, how to learn to live. Now, according to Bhagavan Krishna tell Arjuna in Gita, Arjuna didn't want to fight. He said, you go and meditate. Krishna Bhagavan said, no, you have to perform karma yoga. So then he started to tell him why. He said, the beginning I create two pathways of life for man to live. One as the yogi in the Himalaya. He don't have anything to do with materialism down here. No wife, no children, nothing at all. And the other one is the grihasti, who is you and me, who want to live down here comfortably, have family and the comforts in life and so on. Right? So he said, we are grihastis, and there's nothing wrong with the grihastis, but there are guidelines how to live. And if we live it as we should, with dharma in mind, you just prevent yourself committing a lot of the wrongs. And part of that is to always be in satsang. It comes back and shows you where the grihasti outweighs the yogi. Because the grihasti could serve the Lord and his creation. The yogi does only serve the Lord alone up there. Think about it. You could cook food and feed every aspect of God's creation. The yogi can't do that. He started saying he'll chill out a bag full of food to eat. So the amount of good we could do with this body, even this householder life, is even better than the yogi. What has been wrong, as I mentioned, is when we try, nothing is wrong in acquiring the comforts of the world. Nothing. What has been wrong is when you try to acquire it dishonestly, and when you stay attached to it, this is mine. That is where the trouble comes. You have to learn to live in it and live out of it at the same time. And when bhakti starts to grow in your heart, although all them nice things are wrong, it don't go bother you. It don't bother you. Yeah. Sometimes you feel it's more pressure for you because more things to see about. Now that's going, you know. It's more things, more you have is the more you have to see about. The more you have to care for, the more you have to maintain. And what is happening, the clock is ticking. And whereas we're supposed to be spending more time on the pathway of doing good to the Lord and his creation, all taken up in Maya. All taken up. And God put it in such a way we have more time than before, you know. I mentioned that before. Long time we are as a lady. You had to scrub all them clothes in a scrubbing board. Look at how much time you have to save by just putting everything and pressing on up in the machine and leave it and gone. And you have enough time to spare there? Where are you going to get firewood to cook and this and that? You just turn on the gas, bram, you light up, and you put the pot to cook. Look how much time you save in there. Where's the God going to tote water quite in the forest and bring? You just open the tap right there, you get the water. Watch how much time you save in there. But what we do with the extra time now? What we do with all those extra time we get? Back in materialism. Right? We don't really try to use it to that which will really help us, which is serving the Lord and his creation. And let me tell you, the sarcastic thing about it is, one knock on your door. Kala Danka Bajaya, who are you? He said, my name is Carl, you know, I'm the messenger of death. You have to go, you know. You have to go. Boy, you serious? He said, yeah. Your name on the list here. And when you never call, and let me tell you something, it don't have no who know you and who you know and this and that, you know. There's a little analogy, sometimes I make it in, how you call it, in funeral. Every day, Jamdu does come down with a list. Who go on the list today to go? All right? When the Jamdu take up that list that morning, He watched it on top of the list and he see the king name. He say, "Wee boy, the king had to go. This is a man with plenty of responsibility, you know. I better pass and notify him." So when he reached by the palace, the guard was standing there. He identified himself. "I have the messenger of death. I'm sorry, but your king have to go today. Here's something. I know he's a responsible man. Could you inform him for me, please? I'll go pass back later to pick him up." So Jamdut gone. He come back late. The guard ran inside there. "King, so and so is the case, this, that. You had to go, you know." But the king was a quick thinker. He said, "Here I am. But what shall the kind of wear? And you just guard my palace in that hot sun every day, loyal to me? You want to play king for a day? Give me your clothes and take mine." So the guard dressed up as the king. He said, "You sit on the throne, relax and sit down." And the king put on the guard's clothes and he gone out by the gate. He said, "Deathfully smart, I go outsmart him today." You know, late in the evening, hurriedly the Jamdut coming up the road. Did you tell him? He said, "Yeah, he waiting for you. You're on the throne outside there. Go ahead." So Jamdut watching the how you call it? The guard, right? Not realizing he's the king, you know, or thinking that he's the king, or he knew he's the king then. He said, "Boy, if I tell you something, watch how late it is now. You see when they're coming to die, nobody want to die. Again, real trouble to get them." And this is another thing. Any soul, anybody that the soul takes, the soul does get to love it and they do like to leave it. From the lowest creature to the highest. And I draw the reference. Try to kill a cockroach and see. Try to kill a mosquito. Look how small they are. Try to kill a rat, which is a pest. Everyone will run for their life. And in the same way we too, we don't want to leave the body. You're going to spend every last cent to see Doc could help you to bring you back. Whatever it takes, go for it. And the time that's come, you still have to go. He said, "But if I tell you something, it's so late. I really have time to go inside, you know. I don't carry somebody, so I'll carry you instead." Now, we'll ask the question, was it the God's time or the king's time? It was the king's time. All what he tried, Ravan tried it, Hiranyakashipu tried it, all them big fellas before, they couldn't get away. Right? One knock, you have to go, and you have to leave this world. And the thing about it is, all the thing you cherish there, it remains right there. You know, you're lucky they're doing the shaving and the band running for you, eh? You have to say lucky they're going to do it for you. You know, by the time they start to clean up that house, you see all them things that the mother they like and the father they like, look, put all that by the rubbish heap, you know. All them old things and things that she tie up in it. Why you kill yourself for them throw everything by the roadside? Just think about it. That's what is going on, you know. Nothing can we carry, but yet all our life is utilizing it. That which to really help us, we give it the less amount of time. And which is it? Satsangh ki ganga bahi hai, komal jiska dhara. Find yourself in the holy environment of satsang. By bathing in it is like bathing in the Ganges. As you bathe in the Ganga, sins are washed away. So to bathe in satsang to the cup of the air, Bhagwan's Katha removes the impurities from us. And we are able to get his third eye open and uplift ourselves. So devotees, what happened? Narayan Paramatamaye Govindaye Namo Namam Sri Bhagavana Vatsalam Mama Pujitam Pratigrihitam गुड़ा को काम सेवी को स्वर के और को शूद्र सेवी को बैल को तथा की होता है हरि ओम। ऐसे को घोर पाप के उत्पन्न हुआ को भयानक को नरक को की को ग्राम प्राप्त की हो हरि ओम। कमर क्षय को होने के मनुष्य को ले लोक से को उत्पन्न की होता है। Those who are very sinful devotees and having passed through again dreadful hell's devotees, produced by the sins that were committed by it. What happened? You're born back again upon this earth on the exhaustion of your karmas. You get born back here now. You have to go through the torture period, and then you get born back again. हरिओम ब्रह्म हत्या करने वाले नरक के दुखे भोग इस मनुष्य को लोक के गदा के उत के आदि हरिओम महिषकी को योनि के उत्पन्न की होता है. A Brahmin murderer, one who kills a holy Brahmana, right, is born forth from the womb of a donkey. When you get to come back, you're coming back as a young donkey. You was a human before, you know. But because of the sin committed now, you go born back from the womb of a donkey. Right? A camel devotees or a bhaisa. Bhaisa means a buffalo or bison. Alright? Hari Om. इसी प्रकार आदि को महिष को योनि को उत्पन्न होता है. मदिरा का पान करने वाले भेड़िया को कुत्ता की स्त्रिया को आदि की योनियों में को प्राप्त की होता है. The fellow who likes to drink alcohol, right? The drinkers of alcohol, right? You enters the womb, you're born back as a wolf, a dog, or a jackal. You see it? These creatures, so you are human before, because of what you engage in, it send you back. You're fit to be a human. Your treasure in this thing I give you. Remember, devotees, vasa mosto is waste not, want not. While others begging for it, you get it and you wasting it. You're deserving. So go back and born back as a dog and so on. Suvaran ki chori ko karne wale ko hari om sri kremi ko kit ko patang ki hota hai. The person who steal gold, devotees. You born back, devotees, as a worm. A worm. By stealing gold. Well, you might have them had to born back as women, Lord, you might have gold teaching all about. An insect or a bird, you fall in these lower species. Either a worm, an insect, or a bird you're born back in. और गुरु के गमन को करने वाले को त्रिन को गूल को लता को आदि जन्म को धारण करते हैं. The person devotees who goes again with the teacher's patni then. Okay, you go to the condition, you're born back as grass. You see it as grass. Plant has life. They don't, nothing in God's creation is born by guess or coincidence. You're born back as grass, as bushes or plants in that, remember. Hariom parastriyo ke ko churane wala hai. The person who steals another wife, devotees. A marriage going good with somebody, you break up the man marriage and you're going away with your wife. Right? That person devotees. And again, the person who misappropriates deposit devotees and so on. Appropriate, like you are the treasurer of the group then, temple or in the bank, anywhere you work in and so on, and you had the advantage with the figures and you manipulate and you're stealing from it and so on. Right? The person again who robs again, a Brahmana, he is born back in this world as a Brahmin spirit. You call it Pisach or Pisachini. You fall from that status into the born of a spirit now in this manner. Hariom, kapat ke ko me rakko brahmano ko dhan ke hariom bhog karne wale saat ko kul mein nash ki hota hai. The Brahman's possession, devotees acquired by deception. The Brahmana who gets his wealth and belongings by fooling others or in the wrong manner. That's what I tell you a long time. Nobody going buy you to do press until they know what's your mode of income, you know. How you get that money, you know. Right? You killing and all them things and that's the money you come to give me that shina, they ain't coming by you. Because you'll be taking them sin on you. So the Brahmana devotees who again possession is acquired by deception, fooling others, right? Enjoy devotees, it says, even friendship devotees at what happened? Even it tells you here, for 7 generations, all right, they are going to devotees suffer in this manner. So you see, somebody tell you, the wage of the sins fall on others, right? Generations upon generations, sometimes they remain blind. They can't catch themselves. And one of the issues is that is Pitrapaksh period, when you forget the ancestors. Right? It is following that. हरिओम बतला कर कर के यहाँ को चोरी को ब्राह्मणों के धन को की भोगने वाले कूट कुल का नाश को चंद्रमा और को तारागण को रखे तब तक को नहीं की होता है. The person again who acquires by robbery and so on, forcibly robbing somebody, and you've seen plenty of that taking place. Even if he says a long time devotees, that person will remain suffering devotees. A man may again, it says here, you could digest iron fillings, right? लोहा के चूरन तथा को पत्थर के चूरन के कि उहर आदि के को प्राणी पचा को सकता है, पर ब्राह्मण को धन को त्रिलोकी के इस्तत को कौन पुरुष के पता सकता की होता है. It is easier, devotees, for a person to digest these filings of steel. You know, grinding steel, the filing, you might quicker do that to digest that. Right? But again, it tells you here, or powdered stone ground, or even poison. But where it is, the person devotees, where he, how you call it again, robs the brahmana, okay, of his belongings and so on, all right, that no way you could able to even digest that, the kind of sin you're going to commit by doing that. It's not only Brahmana, it's everybody else. You don't hurt the next person. You know, when devotees, Duryodhana didn't want to give out the kingdom to the Pandavas. They went by Krishna Bhagavan. You know, Krishna Bhagavan tell them, another person's belongings should be looked upon as a deadly poison. Not even in dreams should you think of acquiring the possession of another. What is not yours, leave it there. Not even in dreams should you think of acquiring the possession of another person. That will brought about the Mahabharata war. And these were instilled in us long ago as children with our parents and so on. Do not touch, do not handle what is not. Long ago, if you come back home with a strange pencil in your bag, but you know what trouble you're in? Just a pencil, you know, where you get that from? We didn't buy that for you. But you make in Skylark. Or eraser or something in that respect. Yeah, when you check in your bag and you see it, you can make things with that. Do not touch what does not belong to you. You commit in sin. And these sins, devotees, do not go unnoticed. Having committed it with this human body, then what happens when after you have to leave? You fall down in the lower stratas of life. And after devotees, being again subdued to the torture of it and so on, all right? You're going to born back devotees in this world in lower, how you call it, species of lives, that way you have to suffer again and begin to work, building up yourself, coming up the road. This is what Sri Ram says in Ramayana. It's a very rare, when you get tied up in this world, and that beautiful katha of Ram Gita, you commit, you leave all your true purpose of life, and you look after the materialism. And when the time comes to leave this body now, and you have to answer to Lord Yamraj, you have to sing down right back. And you start to now suffer along. And how you suffer? You take the body that you have prescribed for the specific sin, you take the body birth. You live in it life, you live in death. That other sin, you had to born in that body. Birth, life, death. And we go on. Birth, life, death, birth, life, death, birth, life, death is called the cycles of births and death, or reincarnation, or the transmigration of the soul. Right? A bigger word for it is called metapsychosis. In the Chaurasi Lakh Yoni, you're going up and coming down, going up and coming down, going up and coming down. Shri Ram says, very rare when he looks on this earth and see the soul suffering so much after had his blessed body, and thinking to himself, like a little child playing with the fire and he get burned, you go, sir, that child go put his hand in fire again. So Bhagwan, with mercy in his heart, he say, look, let me give you a chance to come back as a human. and you drop your remnant karma, that body, and your remnant karmas will combine with your parents' karma, who you're going to born from. So that what Narad Muni saw. When we come, we bring karmas you didn't finish reap, good and bad. But instead of when we come here, and you put a full stop, mash your brakes, and pull up your handbrakes, lock it there. What we do when we come here? You start to make more than what you bring. And what you make adds up to what you bring, and you have to carry it. And instead of we cross the ocean of birth and death, you have to come back again. We keep coming back again and again and again and again. If you're lucky, you get to come back as a human. Right? Plenty souls has come from the heaven. You wish to go to heaven, you get to stay there. But after again reaping the heavenly bliss on the exhaustion of your karmas, you're born back on earth. So you just see people right here, you could tell they come from heaven, and you could watch others and know they come direct from hell. Yeah, you just see it, the natural nature in them and so on. So Garuda Purana brings to us the truth. And again, what is the whole issue of it? Let us try to better our lives. What you don't do, you can't do it, but at least ahead of us, we could try and make that little change and that difference. So all these things that are mentioned here, they are not right to do devotees as it says here. Right? So prevent doing those wrongs as much as we can. Knowledge will only be given. Benu Satta Sangha Vivekana Hoyi. You have to be in the holy environment where the satsang takes place. So Prem se boliye Sri Vishnu Bhagavan ki jai, Satya Sanatan Dharma ki jai. We are going to stop here, devotees, this night, as we are, how you call it? We are in the 5th chapter of the Srimad, the Garuda Purana. And again, this is how you'll get the knowledge. You have to peruse it page by page, little by little. Simiti, simiti say, which means just like a tap, dripping, and you put the bucket under it. It might take a little longer while, but the bucket go full. If you take a week, it go full. So to a satsang, little by little by little, that knowledge comes. Too much one time, you might forget everything. That's when Lord Shiva sent Garur by Kag Musunji. He tell him, he said, go there on my recommendation. Kag Musun is a specialist with satsang. He runs a clinic. Go on my recommendation, join his clinic. He will give you the medicine for your problem. And what is the medicine? Ram Katha. In the appropriate dosage. Eka ghari adhi me punyar. Maximum 2 hours. And gradually, you're going to see, as you take the medicine in the dosage the doctor recommends, after a while you're going to get cured for it. And Garuda himself got cured from it. So to devotees, satsang should really be an ongoing issue in our lives. You have to be involved in it all the time. You check it out, how much you spend in it and how much in materialism. For any time you leave here and you go outside the door, it's materialism again. So these little moments help us to remind and remember the true purpose of our life here. Prem se boliye Sri Vishnu Bhagavan ki jai. So we'll stop at this juncture here, and as we stop, with this knowledge gained, let us be, you have to keep begging God, you just can't do it for your own, You have to ask God to help you to make these changes. You try to do it on your own, it's real hard. But with the Lord's mercy shower, you have to see sometimes what's so difficult becomes so easy. Tonight we say thanks very much to a devotee, right? Mrs. Baby Maraj, who tonight did puja and who contributed the parasad and the food and so on tonight. And it was just out of pure love and devotion in her heart. So the Dharampatni of our dear Mahapat Pandit Ramesh, we say thanks very, very much to you, and a very ardent and hard-working and committed member also of this mandir. So God bless you once more. Again, we thank Bodhi and Kasi for preparing the parasad. We want some younger blood to come on board, especially with parasad and so on now. All right? Kash is still doing that. He again is above 75. We could do with some young blood to help out. They never give up. But again, this is an area, anything you could do towards making a yag happen, that's burn your sin. Anything, anything. So take advantage whilst it's possible. So thank you again very, very much. Next week, devotees, our Parasara will be contributed and puja will be done by Bidharam Patni of our own Kailash, right? I don't know her full name, huh? Okay, huh? What? Rohini. Okay, Rohini Maraj, she will do puja next week. Now, after that, devotees, that'll be the, how you call it? The 8th, right? On the 15th, what happens on the 15th here? Full Moon Katha is on the 11th. I remember that, Sunday the 11th. But on the 15th, the Northeast Regional Council will be hosting its Northeast Regional Indian Arrival Celebration. Okay, it's a Thursday evening. And they are keeping it at the Narayan Madhuvan Temple. So we'll forego satsang that night in order to give them the support up there. So on the 15 devotees, we wish that you could gravitate to Vegadio Ropuch there and join in the Narayan Madhuvan Temple with the Northeast Regional Council for the Indian Arrival program that they will be having, only that. Also too, for the other 3 Thursdays, I'm very sorry to say, but I will not be here. So we'll have a void there. We will not have any satsang for these 3 other Thursdays. Okay, we'll start back somewhere around the 5th, right? The 12th, okay? Yeah, sorry. The 12th of June, okay? So please keep this in mind. Mr. Ishar posted up on the Facebook page and so on. So we'll keep reminding you also next week, and then we have the 11th is Full Moon Katha. So Bolo Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai, Vishnu Bhagavan Ki Jai. Let us stand, please. We are going to join in Arati, and our devotee who did puja commence the Arati. Hari Om Yani Kani Chapapani Janamantara Gretani Ta Jai Jagadishari Tani Tani Vinashanti Pradakshina Pari Pari Deepanam Hari Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jai Jagadish Hare Bhakta Jano Ke Sankat
दास जनों के संकट
Chadane
दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे जो ध्यावे फल पावे दुख बिन से मन का
O Swami Dukh
बिन से मन का सुख
Sampati Ghar
आवे सुख संपत्ति घर आवे कष्ट मिटे तन का ओम जय जगदीश हरे मात पिता तुम मेरे शरण गहो किसकी
O Swami Sharan Gahu Mai
किसकी तुम बिन और न दूजा तुम बिन और न दूजा आश करो जिसकी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम पूरन परमात्मा तुम अंतर्यामी
O Swami Tum Antarayami
पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता स्वामी तुम पालन करता मैं मूरत कलका
विध मिलो दया में,
इस विध मिलो दया में, शुभ को मई उमती
ओ जय
जगदीश हरि। दीन बंधु दुख हरता, रक्षक मेरे,
स्वामी
तुम मेरे। अपने हाथ उठाओ,
अपने हाथ उठाओ,
द्वार पर
तेरे ओ जय
जगदीश हरि।
ओम जय
पाप हरो देवा,
स्वामी पाप
हरो
हरो
देवा। श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, संतन की सेवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरि।
ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
ओम जय जगदीश हरि।
ओम जय जगदीश हरे। बोलो विष्णु भगवान की जय। We humble once more to Bhagavan, giving thanks for these moments of togetherness in this holy environment of Satsang. As we do so, Lord, we beg of you to bless us, guide us, and protect us. Hari Om Shantakaram
भुजगशयनं
Padmanabham
सुरेशं
Vishwadharam
गगनसदृशं
Meghavarnam
शुभांगं
Lakshmikantam
कमलनयनं
Yogi Viridhyanagam
ध्यानगम्यं
Vande Vishnu
भावभैरवं
Sarvalokaikanatam
सर्वलोकैकनाथम्।
Om Tvameva Mata
च पिता त्वमेव,
Tvameva Vandu
च सखा त्वमेव,
O Tvameva Vidya
द्रविणं त्वमेव,
Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Shanti 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 Hari Om। बोलो श्री विष्णु भगवान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। सीतापति रामचंद्र की जय। पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय। गुरु रामानंद स्वामी की जय। आर शक्ति जगदम्बे माता की जय। वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। प्रेम से बोलिए सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। सर्वदेवी सर्वदेवता की जय। साधु गुरु के दंडवत जय 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 सीताराम। आपकी आसन लीजिए। प्लीज बी सीटेड। Please again, after receiving arti, prasad, meals are prepared. Please stay and partake.